Hola, hola everyone. I'm Natalia Rosa, co-founder of Adalink and your instructor for this class, Efficient Post-Production, Editing, and Media Transfer Strategies. With over a decade working on TV shows, commercials, and feature films, I've learned that post-production is where the story truly comes alive. It's not just about cutting clips together. It's about discovering the elements that work well together, finding the structure that best tells your story or message, and shaping the emotional tone of your piece through rhythm, juxtaposition, and timing. Equally important is having a streamlined workflow. Good post-production isn't just about creativity. It's about managing files, navigating software, and hitting deadlines without burnout. Whether you're building content for social media or long-form storytelling, an efficient workflow will help you stay organized and focus on what matters, telling a compelling story. Before we begin, who usually does what? In large projects, post-production is a team effort. Each stage of the process is handled by a different specialist, and knowing who does what can help you better understand the workflow. Typical post-production roles. Media manager organizes and backs up all footage. Assistant editor syncs audio, builds sequences, and manages files. Editor crafts the story, cuts footage, and builds flow. Sound designer cleans audio, adds effects. Composer scores or sources music. Colorist adjusts colors and applies a final look. Motion designer adds graphics, titles, and animations. Visual effects artist adds any visual effects or compositing. Finishing editor handles exports, formatting, and delivery. You don't have to be an expert in all of this, but understanding the task will help you plan better and produce stronger content. Organizing your raw media. So you've reached post-production. Congratulations! Most of your filming is likely complete, and now it's time to bring everything together to shape your story. Whether your footage came from an SD card, camera, or smartphone, your first and most important task is transferring and securing your media, because media loss or corruption at this stage could derail your entire project. Transfer and backup. Never format or delete the original SD card or phone files until you've backed everything up to at least 2 separate tracks. Cross-check the file size and number of clips against the source. A mismatch count or smaller size might mean something didn't copy correctly. Folder structure. Your editing process will only flow as smoothly as your project is organized. Start by naming your main folder after your project. Then break it down like this. Project name, footage. Day 1, camera A, camera B, and so on. Project name, audio. Day 1, and so on. Music, sound effects. Project name, graphics. Documents. Premiere project and export. Your folder system should be intuitive and scalable. If another editor jumps in mid-production, they should be able to open your project and reconnect media without needing hours of explanation. Setting up your editing software. If you've never opened an editing program before, don't worry. Editing software might look intimidating at first, but once you learn where things are and what tools do what, it becomes your creative playground. Whether you're using Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, CapCut, or Final Cut Pro, the basic principles are the same. You import your media, arrange it on a timeline, and build your story piece by piece. In this class, we'll focus on Adobe Premiere Pro, since it's one of the most widely used tools in the industry. But the same ideas will apply no matter what software you're using. Premiere Pro interface breakdown. Over here, we have the project panel, bin, where all your media is organized. You can create folders to keep clips, audio, and graphics tidy. Timeline panel. This is where you assemble your sequence, drag and drop clips, layer audio, and make cuts. Source monitor. Preview and mark in-out points of raw clips before sending them to the timeline. Program monitor shows what your timeline currently looks like, your actual video in progress. Effects panel. You'll find video and audio effects and transitions here. Effects control. Adjust the properties of your selected clips. Menu highlights. You go to File, Import to bring your media into the project. You go to Sequence Settings to customize resolution, etc. Window, you customize your layout by turning panels on and off. You go to Preference Media where you set cache locations and enable proxies. Now that you're familiar with the editing software, let's set up key settings for smooth performance. Optimizing Premiere Pro settings. To get the best performance out of Premiere Pro, it's important to adjust how the software uses your hardware and manage media. Media cache and scratch disks. Premiere creates cache and temporary files that can slow performance if unmanaged. Move media cache and scratch disks to a fast SSD separate from your system drive and clear old cache files regularly. Go to Preferences, Media Cache, set cache locations to a fast SSD, not your system drive. Click on Delete Unused Media Cache files to avoid buildup. Go to Project Settings, Scratch Disks. Assign all scratch disks, capture video, audio, and previews to a dedicated SSD drive or NVMe. If you only have one fast SSD, keep both media cache and scratch disks there. This keeps projects more responsive. Memory allocation. Premiere needs lots of RAM. In Preference Memory, allocate as much as possible to Adobe apps while leaving a few gigabytes for background processes. This prevents crashes and ensures smoother previews and exports. Go to Preferences, Memory, set the RAM reserved for other applications to a minimal amount, let's say 2 to 4 gigabytes. Following these steps ensures your editing experience is smoother, your previews run without lag, and exports finish faster without compromising quality. Cutting with purpose, techniques and types of edits. Now that your editing software is set up and running smoothly, it's time to roll up your sleeves and start shaping your story. This is where editing truly becomes an art form. Think of your timeline as a canvas, and the cuts you make as brushstrokes. Every decision you make in the editing phase affects how your audience feels and understands and experiences the content. It's not just about removing the bad takes, it's about choosing moments that make your story come alive. Straight cut. The default cut between two shots, with no transitions or effects. A straight cut keeps the viewer immersed in the scene without calling attention to the edit. Jump cut. A cut that skips forward in time within the same shot or scene. Usually, you use it to show the passage of time, create urgency, or inject energy, especially in vlogs, explainers, or stylized sequences, keeping things punchy and dynamic. Just don't overuse them unless it's part of your aesthetic. J-cuts and L-cuts. When audio leads the video during a transition is a J-cut. When audio lags the video during a transition is an L-cut. These edits are subtle but powerful. They help you guide attention, manage pacing, and connect thoughts or moods between scenes. Match cut. A transition that connects two shots with similar composition, motion, or theme. To create visual harmony, show symbolic relationships, or transition between time-space creatively. Match cuts feel intentional and poetic. They show a deeper level of planning in how your visuals speak to one another. Cutaway. A shot that cuts away from the main subject to show context or detail. To cover edits in interviews, add visual variety, or show supporting information. Cutaways make your piece more dynamic and help avoid visual fatigue. They're essential in documentary or event coverage. Each type of cut gives you a different way to express time, emotion, or meaning. Transitions. Once your cuts are in place, transitions help guide the viewer from one moment to the next, smoothing out the edit or signaling a shift in time, place, or tone. Dip to black. Great for ending a scene or creating a dramatic pause. A slow dip feels emotional or final. A fast dip can be used rhythmically or with music cues. Cross dissolve or crossfade, a soft fade between clips used for emotional beats, time lapses, or mood-driven sequences. Be careful. Overusing cross dissolves can make your edit feel outdated or overly sentimental. Dip to white are often used for waking up moments, flashbacks, or moments of revelation or clarity. It feels brighter and lighter than a dip to black. Wipes and directional transitions. These include page wipes, slide-ins, and custom motion effects. They can feel cinematic when well-timed or playful depending on the context. Modern editors also use custom motion graphics, speed ramps, overlays, or simple jump cuts to create transitions. You're only limited by your creativity. Use transitions with intention. Ask yourself, does this serve the story or is it just for flair? Ultimately, editing, and especially transitions, is where your personal taste shines through. Platform-specific timing tips. For YouTube, try to edit a hook in 5 seconds, 10 seconds at the most, and deliver your entire content in 6 to 10 minutes. For Instagram or TikTok, 15 seconds to 30 seconds, you need fast and punchy videos. For Twitter, 15 seconds to a minute and a half. Keep the intros short and good, clean call to actions at the end. Building a workflow timeline. Let's break the post-production process into manageable real-world steps. This is where discipline, planning, and a bit of storytelling magic come together. Step 1. Set a schedule, even if there's no deadline. No one likes deadlines, but projects without them often never get finished. Organize before you edit. This rule is gospel. Organize your media inside your editing software, just like your folder structure. Create your first sequence. Name it clearly and keep it simple. This is where you edit. Sync audio. If audio was recorded separately, sync it with the video now. This will save you headaches later. Watch all your footage. Yes, all of it. Dump your footage into a review sequence and watch every clip from beginning to end. First, assembly. This is where you build the skeleton of your story. First cut. Start refining, add visuals on top of your audio. Think of this stage as painting the edit. Second cut. Tighten the pacing, refine transitions, and make it feel like a finished product. Add music. Choose music that supports emotion, not just cool vibes. Let it guide rhythm and pacing. Add sound effects, subtle whooshes, clicks, and ambient backgrounds. If it fits the tone, it will enhance your production. Audio mixing. Balance the levels, voice, music, sound effects, and avoid distractions. If you're exporting for broadcast or major streaming platforms, always check the platform's official delivery specs to ensure your audio meets their technical standards. Color corrections and grading. Fix exposure and white balance first, then apply stylistic color grading. Add graphics and transitions. Lower thirds, logos, intro, outro transitions. This adds polish and refinement. Final review. Step away, come back later, and watch with fresh eyes. Cut what doesn't serve the story. Trim repetition. Each time you'll find something new to improve. And you're ready for delivery. But wait, watch your final export file twice before you deliver or upload anything. Catch the small stuff now so your audience doesn't have to. Exporting your project. After all your editing is done, it's time to export. Every project is different. The export setting for a YouTube vlog won't be the same as for a short film destined for festivals or broadcast TV. If you're collaborating with someone, always ask if they have a specific delivery preferences. If they don't, follow platform recommended guidelines. You can usually find recommended export specs on each distribution platform's website. Here are a few general settings. Best practices for sharing projects. If you're collaborating with others, such as an editor, sound designer, or colorist, how you share your project can make or break the process. Use a physical SSD drive to hand off your project. This avoids upload-download delays and supports faster, more secure file transfers. If working remotely, Dropbox. Best for ongoing team collaboration and large libraries. It syncs automatically and changes reflect quickly. WeTransfer or Google Drive, ideal for smaller deliveries or single-use handoffs. Backup and archiving. Keep a long-term archive of final exports, project files, audio stems, graphic assets, source footage. Store it in your folder structure. You never know when you'll need to reopen a project for a new edit or client. Organizing a messy project after the fact. If you end up working on a project that wasn't organized from the start, don't panic. Premiere Pro has a built-in way to consolidate everything. Go to File, Project Manager, Collect Files, and copy to new location. Choose a destination folder and Premiere will gather all the media, making the project cleaner and much easier to back up or hand off. Congratulations, you've reached the end of this workshop series. But before I go, I want to leave you with a final call to action. If you want to grow as a storyteller, study amazing content. Watch your favorite webisodes, music videos, commercials, movies, but don't just watch. Analyze them. Ask yourself, what makes this work? What is the structure? How is the pacing? What's the emotional impact? Can I recreate that effect? Do this for both world-famous content and the weird little indie stuff you personally love. There's gold in both. Thank you for allowing me and my team to share a few of the things we've gathered over the years about content creation. I hope it inspires you to get creative and keep growing.